Hello guys, and welcome to this new video I have for you guys about light weapons in particular. So let's just get right into it. So the first weapon that we will try is the P2020. Now this is just a single fire pistol, so you tap the trigger and they'll shoot once. So let's go and see what the base damage is. Base damage for this weapon is 13 and a headshot is 19, so a decent amount more for headshot, but it only goes as fast as you pump the trigger, so not that good. If it did more damage like a wingman, it might be doing a little bit better, but right now let's just see what type of mags we can put on it and see how many more bullets we can put in the magazine. So let's get rid of the sniper stocks. And so 15, that's not too much of an increase. For the purple mag we can get 18, so that's a decent increase, and we can hit the target a lot more times. So if you ever find a mag, make sure you put it on the gun. That's kind of obvious, but always make sure to check just in case. And the one thing that is really good about this is the reload time. I think this is the fastest reload time for any gun in the game. I mean, it's really fast. They just drop out the new clip and put the other one in, and it doesn't have to press anything. It's ready to go. And this is the hammer point rounds that I just put on it, and basically what this does is that when the target or the enemy player runs out of shield, it'll do a lot more damage. So now headshot is 53 damage, which is much more than a regular one is. So we'll go and do them down, and boom, 35, and that's almost like a wingman, except very fast fire. Unfortunately not on shield, but if you can get them down on shield and then maybe do something else, like as in use a P2020 as a backup, then you can take them down fast. This attachment highlights the target in red, so it's much easier to see. It does nothing as use of range, however, but it just illuminates the target in a red glow to separate them from everything else. So the next weapon we will take a look at is the RE45. Now this is a semi-auto or fully automatic rifle, excuse me. Now it shoots very fast, although one thing about it is that it is harder to keep it stable because it has a tendency to have kickback and it goes up quite fast. The base damage is 11, so not as much as the P2020, but it shoots very fast, so you can get a lot more damage done a lot faster. So if we take a look at the magazines we could put on, these increase by 3, so that one was 19. And the next blue magazine that we are looking at, let's give it a go. The next magazine has a bullet count of 25, so that is actually a pretty big increase. So you can do a lot more damage to the target if you hit the bullets. In fact, the thing about this gun is that you want to make sure that you really have a good aim, because you can shoot it really fast and then the bullets are out, and so then you either switch guns or you reload. And so this gun can do a lot of damage, but you just have to make sure, since it is one of the ones with a little bit smaller magazine, you have to hit them all. So it's not really like an end game sort of gun that you'd want to go with, but it's not too bad if you just want to start early game. So we're looking back through some of the other things. So we got mags. We also have barrel stabilizers, and if you get a barrel stabilizer, this is much better because the recoil on the gun is much less, and so it's a lot more steady. You can hit much more times instead of having to manually adjust while you're firing. We also put on the attachment. You can't really tell the difference, but this one will make it a lot easier to see enemies. For instance, if a Bangalore drops a smoke and then you have to see through the smoke, you can do that with that digital threat attachment. So we'll collect a little bit more ammo here, and we'll take a little bit look at the scopes here. So 1 to 2 variable scope is often my favorite scope to go to, even though you maybe not be able to see through the smoke. But with some guns, not really this one as much, but maybe if you're talking about like an R301, like at range, like if you don't want to get like that close to somebody, especially if you see if they have like an EVA or a Peacekeeper or something like that, like, because if you get like off like a really good shot with like a Peacekeeper or EVA, you can easily do like 100 damage. And if they do that to you, that's like your full health if you don't have any armor on. And so that's kind of dangerous to go into, and so having a little bit more range will protect you, like especially against the shotgun, because then all the bullets will spread out, like all the pellets will spread out, and so only a couple will hit you, and they'll maybe do like 40 to 20 damage, maybe if they have like a choke on the shotgun, they might do a little bit more, but that'll take a little bit more time to fire, like if you want to get the precision shot, so you'll be getting more shots in anyways. So we're taking a look at the alternator now. Now this is a gun that's a little bit better in mid-range. I wouldn't say it's that great, but it's a pretty like middle ground gun. I would say I would rank it between maybe RE45 and R301. It's pretty good. It has an okay magazine, so you can get up to 26, and it does like decent damage, like 15 per shot. It's not that fast, and I mean it's not like that flashy of a weapon, but I mean if you want to like get it done, you can. So not too much talk about that one. Like you can use it if you want, but it should not ever be a preferred weapon. So now we're gonna look at the R99, and this is definitely the fastest gun in the game. As long as you're just talking about light. I mean the Devotion's pretty fast, but I would still rank this faster than Devotion. This thing will spray, and this thing will spray fast. I think it only does something like 12 damage per hit on the body, but it goes so fast that you can kill somebody like especially easily. And you start off with a magazine of 18, and if we remember back to the RE45, that was only 16. And so this is already a hand up, shoots faster, just like a better like SMG like in general. It's great, especially when you get a magazine on it. You get like 27, like that's like the upper tier, and like by the time like I was like 3/4 of the way through all the bullets, I already taken down a guy with like purple armor. I think that's what's represented by them over there, and same thing with like a blue, they'll do the same thing. And then stock. So stock doesn't matter as much on this, but stock is like whenever you aim down the sights, the stock, like basically like if it's not moving as much, that means you have a stock on it. So but it's supposed to simulate breathing the movement of the weapon, but if you have a better stock, then it won't move as much, and therefore you'll hit more bullets theoretically. A barrel stabilizer is probably better on this weapon because of the recoil. It will make the recoil smaller, and therefore less manual adjustment on the gun, and that will ensure that you hit more targets. Especially you can go and mess around with it in the controls, but either way it'll help you. So now we go to my favorite, or second favorite, R301. Now this is a good mid-range and short-range gun. Excuse me. This has the biggest magazine out of the light weapons, I believe, with 18, or tied with the R99. And this does more damage than the R99. This does 14 compared to the 12, and it still takes down enemies relatively fast. It's pretty good. I would rank it a little bit above the R99 in most situations because this weapon is very versatile. The mid-range is pretty good on it, especially if you use the anvil receiver, although many people don't use it, and some of my friends don't like it as much, but 35 damage is decent, especially if you hit it as fast as you can do damage fast, and the 70 headshot is pretty good. And I think if we compare that to a Scout, I think that's a little bit more damage than the Scout, which is more of a sniper type rifle. The Scout, however, fires faster, and you could probably kill an enemy faster, but if you do have an anvil receiver, and if you have not come across, for instance, a Scout, it's still like a viable replacement, especially if you don't have a stock, or excuse me, any sights or anything to increase the range. I think it's like a viable option. For a little bit more range, you can kind of pick and choose and hit with that a little bit more if you have the anvil receiver. R301, I mean, once when you add like all the attachments, like it's a very, very versatile gun because you can put on a stock, you can put on a mag, you can shoot with like more long range if you want to, / mid range, or even short range. I mean, you can kind of just pick and choose. Like the ×2 isn't that much long range, but it's good enough to get the job done, especially end game. If you got a close circle, that's good enough to kind of like sit there and pick them off. But here we're gonna put on the 1 to 2, and you can see the 2 is definitely like a little bit more range than the one, and that's definitely mid-range going into just touching long range just a little bit. But here we go. We got all the attachments on all these guns, and I mean, a lot of them are good, but I mean, the Scout really shines. And the reason why it set itself apart is because you can get those headshots time after time, and it racks up damage fast, and it's like a sniper, but you can shoot fast, and that's what's crazy about it. And when you get it stock, when it's super stable like that, it's so easy to just see somebody crouching or whatever, them healing or whatever, and you pop, they're dead and they can't even move. It's just so versatile, and you can also use it short range too, almost like a shotgun, because it's pretty easy to hit. And the new attachment that came out, I think season 3 or whatever the latest update was, the double trigger is so good on this weapon. You hit it twice, boom, 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 boom. And especially if you get headshots, 136 damage like you just saw there, it's incredible. I mean, it is incredible, like how much damage you can put out. It's pretty awesome. And this is also versatile because you can put on a mag on it, sniper stock, a barrel stabilizer, although barrel stabilizer doesn't really matter as much on this gun, I would say, but I mean, anything can help. But if we're going to take a look at sniper stocks or just stocks in general for snipers, the 2 to 4 is the one to go to. The 2 is okay, 3 is okay, but I wouldn't go anywhere above that if you could, because I mean, the 2 to 4 just has the perfect long range, like kind of short range combo that you can use, and really, like, to snipe somebody, like, that's a pretty far distance away, you can still pick them off pretty well. But when you get into like the 6 and 10 or 8 and 10 or something, like 4 and 8, like when you get long range, like when you have to move it like around, like it's a lot slower, and it's just like harder to focus in on something, if you're just purely sniping. If you're on top of a mountain and you're sniping somebody, or if it's like end game and you're just trying to snipe the dude right in the mouth for like the headshot damage or something, like then maybe you could use it. But still, like, if you're gonna be doing that sort of thing, I would tell you to use something like a longbow, so you could get more guaranteed damage or something like that. The Scout's still pretty versatile. You can put a lot of things on it, so it's pretty good. But there again, the 2 to 4, I mean, boom boom, like, just kill somebody so fast. It's pretty good. So along with the mags, like, I think you could get up to potentially 20 shots with it, and for a sniper, that's a lot. Like, you just go boom 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 boom, hit target after target after target after target. And then the crazy thing about this, the reload, I mean, it's quick. I mean, you're talking like quick reload. I mean, it's kind of crazy. And like, to have like a gun like that versatile in like every category is pretty crazy. So if you guys get like a Scout, like, I reckon, like, if you guys don't like the Scout for some reason, I would go and give it a go again, because it's really good in like basically any scenario that I can think of. Like, even if you don't have a scope on it and you're doing close range, like, it will do damage for you. I mean, it's crazy like how fast you can do it. So just a little bit more type showing you what the scope can do. Like, if you see 2 to 4 scope, that is a scope for you, especially closer towards end game. I mean, like, especially mid game and end game, like a 2 to 4 scope will like literally change your life with the Scout. So RE45, let's do a quick recap. That one, I mean, it's like alright, but it's more of like a gun where you can do some like damage and then switch to another weapon, maybe like a wingman, or in this instance maybe a P2020. Now, many people hate the P2020, but it can shoot kind of fast if you do it. But the thing about it is that you can switch the P2020 very fast, and the reload time is very fast. And so if you know an enemy is low, and if you like don't have like any guns with any bullets in them, and if you need to like reload, for instance, early game type, the P2020 isn't that bad if you're in a type of scenario where you need to reload and just do quick damage, because it's going to reload so fast, and then you can just pick them off with your shot. So not too bad, but different combinations work well in different sort of ways. So the alternator, it shoots kind of fast. I mean, not too fast. I mean, it's decent. The combination here, it would go better with something like a Scout, for instance, or maybe a wingman. but versatility with the alternator is decent, but it's really should be only something that you should be using maybe early game, like if you find it first. But if you find something to replace it with, like because like the attachments, like you can attach some stuff, but it's really not going to make it really good to a tier of an R301 or maybe a Scout, for instance. The Scout is super versatile, and it can really work with really any weapon. For instance, if you switch to, so you do damage and then you switch to the Scout, boom, 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 like it'll finish it up. You can do that with pairing with, for instance, R301, R99, Alternator, RE45, basically whatever, because it's easy to shoot and does damage, and you can shoot it pretty fast for a weapon that does that much damage. So for instance, R301, I killed him the whole time that first time, and then boom, boom, switch, and you can just pick off. And the thing that's so nice about the Scout is that it's not like a sniper, because it has a bigger magazine, and so then you can afford to do a lot more things with it and get a lot more damage in fast. Whereas you have to shoot slower with a longbow or something like that. Or for instance, a Kraber is super slow, but if you get the headshot, you kill him. So that's kind of important to know. So just playing around with some different combinations, like for instance, an R99 and R301, like you can use them pairing wise, but like really that's not the best situation, because it can do well in short range, like medium range not very good, and you're not like helping out your team. Like if you're gonna have that sort of loadout, then you're gonna want some sort of grenades or something like that to be able to levy the damage and not just seem annoying and like unuseful. But the P2020 in close range is decent. I would not say use it in long range, because that's just not the sort of thing. But if it's close range, like that, you can just pop them a couple times, and the reload time is super fast. And there's always that one time when you're fighting somebody and you need to reload fast, and then the P2020 is the gun to use, because they're sitting around the corner reloading, and then you can reload really, really fast. So here's, for example, so you can hit them like a couple times, like long range I would say is a little bit better with the R99, because the spray will go straight up, hit maybe a little bit more. R31 is a little bit better at long range though. So we'll run up the hill and show you real quick right here. So there you go, it hits a little bit more, kind of has a more natural feel to the gun, like more stable, for instance. And if you switch to single fire and the anvil, as I've talked before, you can do some pretty decent damage there. But the best gun that I would give the awards to would be R301 and R99. For short range, definitely. Long range, I would give it to definitely the Scout. And the pairings that you should use, what I would say in like end game and like best game scenario would be Scout and R99. That'd be my favorite, because you can put the 1-2 scope on the R99. And the Scout is just really, really good. So I thank you guys for watching this video, and maybe take what I've shared and use it in your own gameplay. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.